Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is your host, Chris Corey with Shoutouts Techland. Wanted to go over something else I've been playing with for a while on monitoring various servers, services, etc. that you may have in your home infrastructure. Pretty simple product. It's called Monitorr with two R's. It's basically a web front live display to status of any web page or service. Basically, you can set it up to do a ping test and have it display if a service, basically a quick ping test to see if it's up or down, and can keep track of various things on your network, infrastructure, game servers, services, etc. I've been playing with it off and on for a while. It's pretty easy to use, pretty self-explanatory. There's actually a lot more that you can do with it than what I do. So you can set up various services to be monitored, to be checked based off of like an IP address and a port, and it will do a ping test, see if it's there, tell you if it's up or down, and then that will give you an indication that you may possibly have a issue that you need to go look at. Obviously, there's quite a bit more that I can set up on mine. I had to go through and redo it again because I ran into some issues. I basically made a mistake on mine. There's definitely mobile versions that you can use with it as well. There's quite a few prerequisites depending on the type of install that you do. I will leave a link in the description of how to basically set that up through GitHub using their wiki. The requirements are PHP, PHP curl, PHP zip archive, PHP PDO, SQLite, and then Git if you are using it on a Windows host. Personally, myself, I am using Unraid, and I'm using the Monitorr application through the Community App Store, so there was no install. I have to install it, but it does all the prerequisites and grabs everything for me. Makes it a lot easier. So if you're using like Unraid, FreightNAS, I think even Open Media Vault, they all have some sort of application store that you can go to and see if the Monitorr is on there for you. That way the application store will do everything for you. Otherwise, the install is kind of clunky. I've done it manually before. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot you can do with it. Obviously, there's other alternatives that you can use, but this is a pretty simple interface once it's up and running. I will show you mine. Obviously, this is installed, like I said, off of my Unraid container. So this is what I have set up so far, which is a lot of my basically used applications all the time. So I've got, obviously, if I can ping Google and make sure that I'm up. SAB for downloads, my photo management, pfSense, which is my firewall. Make sure that that's up and running. Tells you the time, CPU stats, which the CPU stats are based off of my Unraid server because that's where it's installed. I have two piles, so I have a primary and a backup. It will tell me if it's pingable, if it's online, and if everything's good with that. Bookstack, which is also on my Unraid, monitor itself, and then of course my Plex server. Pretty simple interface once it's up and running. Obviously, you'll have to create an account to log into, which I'm already logged in. From there, if you go to one sec, brought it up on my other monitor. One sec. So this is the main page you'll get. So you'll get this home screen. The release log, right now it is currently at 177D at the time of this. Yeah, version 177D. And then that is based off of Linux, obviously. So it'll give you the OS version, PHP version, the install path of where it's installed, and what resource it's using. I haven't dug too deep into this because I'm using, I've kind of gone over more towards the Grafana side of things, but I do want to integrate this in as well. I just haven't taken the time to do that. That is on my list of projects that I want to do in the future. And then from here, you can set up user preferences, time zone, the name of the website, the IP address, what branch you want. So if you want development, which is a little bit quicker, but not as stable, or if you want master, which is the master primary development cycle, which was obviously going to be more stable. You go to service configuration, you can basically set up any amount that you want of services to monitor. Pretty self-explanatory. So service title, is it enabled? What's the image? Check type, so do you want ping only, standard, ping, timeout, and then link enabled, so is it up or down? And then basically the check URL and the service URL. You can see I've got 6 or 7 of them set up. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to use once it's set up and configured. And then once you get everything set up and configured, you can come back to home, and then you can verify if everything is up and running. Obviously, you can see all of my services that I have set up are live at this point in time, so they are working. Let's see, is there anything that I want to add to show you here? I already have book stack, everything's set on here. Let's see if I had anything else that I wanted to double check for you. Oh, we can do Plex monitoring, so let's do that. Give me a second, and I will get the correct information. So to add it, we would go here, go to service configuration. I'm going to go ahead and add one. Which will be right here. Get the correct spelling, because I always butcher it. So my Plex monitoring. Then the check URL and service URL, in case they're listed under different machines, that's where you would change that. Hit submit to save the change. And I can go back over to here. Then you can see that is now up and running with my Quenchula Plex monitoring service. So now I have that monitored. Pretty simple product. Like I said, I will leave a link in the description of the service and then the wiki install links. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty awesome product to use. It's really powerful. There's a lot you can go ahead and add with it that I haven't even dug into at all. It's just because I don't need to. Obviously, your mileage will vary depending on what it is that you are trying to monitor and where it's installed. Definitely make sure to like and subscribe on here and to check out my other social media and my Twitch page. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one and be safe.